Okay, thank you very much. I'm Don Mitchell. I'm the mayor of Whitby. For anybody who hasn't been to Whitby or Durham region in particular, welcome. We're really glad to have you here. We're joined here by lots of members of council, lots of our senior staff, folks from Durham region, from Durham College, from everywhere. Like anyone who's important is here in this room right now. And for those who are watching this later and are not here, now they understand. And this is another happy day for our town. 1855 is something that the town, working particularly with Jason, who you'll hear from, is so happy to see. It's right next door, and it really matters to our town and our council and our region. And we have Sherry here from the Spark Center, and we wanted to support innovation because we really believe that quality of place is a driver of prosperity, and that innovation jobs in particular are a multiplier of prosperity. So we had the great good fortune. So if you can't, 1855 is right next door. It's great, you got to see it. But we had the building across the road here, which was a school, heritage school, which 15 years ago would have been torn down and there'd be a townhouse block there, guaranteed, 100%. But we happened to have Jason. You hear a lot about Jason, but this was somebody who really cared about roots, really cared about his town, really cared about innovation, really cared about mentoring, had a whole lot of money, and was willing to spend it to turn that into an amazing place that is home to hundreds of great jobs. So that's a remarkable thing, and that's what gives us so much confidence in this concept. And we found through that process and through his leadership that there were a lot of other amazing people, Rob and Isaac and David and so on, who all were into mentoring and support and really caring about roots. So this is I think it's a sea change. And so important to our future, to Whitby's future, and everybody's future, because Durham region is a great place. I happen to believe Whitby's the best part of Durham region, but nonetheless, it's all very fine. And so anybody looking to bring their skills to a place where you can live, work, and play, what we're doing right here is live, work, and play in action in the deepest sense. So thank you for being here, and have a great night, and I will step out of the spotlight.
Thanks, Mayor Mitchell. Hey everyone, welcome to 1855 MASTERCLASS. I'm Simon Gill, I'm the Director of Economic Development with the region of Durham, and I'm really, really excited that we were able to sponsor and become a sponsor of the 1855 MASTERCLASS series. Just a quick note about who we are, region of Durham. A couple of our team's top priorities are attracting and retaining top STEM tech talent to the region, and enabling innovation and competitiveness across all of our sectors. And doing that will lead to good, strong job creation. Now, when Stephanie first told me about the idea of doing 1855 MASTERCLASS series, I thought, wow, that's amazing. How do we support it? How can we help you make this happen? And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because here in Durham, we're not afraid of big questions. In fact, we're working on big answers. It's an incredible time of transformation here, where we're finding that innovation with a social conscience will allow us to solve complex problems. Like how we're going to transform the entire automotive industry to making entirely electric and autonomous vehicles. Or how we're going to generate completely clean electricity for the whole province of Ontario. Or how we're going to support the entrepreneurs that are tuned into their conscience and who will change the entire global landscape of the tech industry. This MASTERCLASS series, which you're attending tonight, is going to provide an invaluable and unique insights for our tech and innovation community. And Durham ECDev is very proud to be a sponsor. So I'm going to welcome our guests on stage now, and I'll start with the introduction. 1855 Masterclass is all about thought leadership mastery. And tonight's presenter embodies this, as seen by his incredible track record of business growth and the strong example he set in our regional backyard and in communities all over the world. Starting his first tech company in high school, he has a lengthy history of using strong entrepreneurial spirit and tech expertise to grow businesses and create opportunities. His business philosophy is grounded in workplace happiness and a strong commitment to community, a belief which today drives his role as the CEO of 360 Insights, a $75 million tech company located right across the street from where we are today. One of the visionaries behind 1855 Whitby and the chair of their esteemed board, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Jason Atkins. Now, I'm going to introduce our other guests of the evening. And to kick it off, I'm actually just going to share a quick story. And I think this is a story that probably a lot of people in the crowd can relate to in one way or another. They've lived this same story. So it was, I think, September 2004. And I was going to university at the time in Kingston, and there was a show announced at the Clark Hall pub. And this is a tiny little pub. It's, could fit max 60 people, 65 people. It was above the Queen's bookstore, and it was Arcade Fire and Ride Theory at the time. And Ride Theory went on to become Young Rival. But they were selling tickets online, or you could show up at the door, up to you. And I thought, I better just get a ticket online just in case. And then over the coming weeks, I think Pitchfork reviewed their album. It was the highest rating they'd ever given any album. This buzz was going around the university and around the town. Did you get tickets? Are there tickets left? What time? How early are you going to go? Do you think there's going to be a spot? Anyway, I showed up. Doors opened at 9, and I think there was probably about 500 people that were originally lined up, and now they were milling around the door, just clamoring to get in. It was mayhem out there, and I managed to get in. Ride Theory went on, I think at maybe about 10:30, and then Tear Down, and then it was a slow setup. Finally, I think Arcade Fire went on around after midnight. And once the sound got dialed in, it was just totally magic in there. And I think everyone that was in the room with me realized that they were a part of something pretty special and something that was going to become pretty awesome. And now that was definitely one of my favorite shows. So I'm absolutely delighted to be able to be here tonight and to say that we have the co-leaders of this iconic and defining Canadian indie rock band here with us tonight. And since that night in 2004, these Grammy and Juno Award winners have been touring the world, donating over $3 million from concert ticket proceeds to benefit some wonderful and truly deserving initiatives. And I'm hoping they're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. It's my sincere pleasure and privilege to introduce and welcome Régine Chassaing and Win Butler.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the long intro, so we only have to be up here for about 15 minutes now, so thank you guys. I met Win and Regina about a year and a half ago. We found out yesterday, we spoke on the stage yesterday, and I told a story about how I didn't know much about Arcade Fire, and then Win let me know that he didn't know much about me, which I'm shocked after that huge intro because he knows so much.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, really weird. Shocked, we're a little bit late getting started today. That was intentional. So part of what I always talk about is that we live in this great community and we can create jobs here, and that the commute really sucks to Toronto. So we decided that we'd pick them up at 2:30 in downtown Toronto and have them enjoy the ride to Whitby. So just like the very beginning, how was the ride out to Whitby at 2:30 in the afternoon?
Yeah, it sucked.
That's why we have to build a community here for jobs. So thank you guys so much for being here today. For those that don't know, We've done the last couple days to support Compe, which we'll talk about today. A bunch of people from Compe are here today, and I'm very, very proud to be sponsoring these guys and being part of Compe and what you guys are doing, which we'll talk about. But this community is all about entrepreneurs and business leaders, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how you guys get together, right? So you have Montreal, Haitian, Texas person. How did it all come together at the very beginning?
I moved to Montreal when I was, I guess, 19, 20. I grew up in Houston, Texas, but I kind of all over the place. And I started a band after I dropped out of art school, as one does. And my friend Josh, who was in the band with me, had gone to Concordia, and he was going back to school. I didn't know anything about Canada at all. I didn't really realize there was French speaking.
Or that there was winter.
I knew about winter. I was hip to that, but I just had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I'd lived in New York just before, and I went to New York City thinking, oh, this is gonna be, like, I've read about New York my whole life, I'm an artist, like, this is gonna be perfect. And I got to New York and I was like, wait a minute, this is terrible. And when I got to Montreal, it was everything that I thought in my imagination of what New York was, Montreal actually was, where it was this really vibrant artistic community, and so I just fell in love with the city, and I met Regine pretty much maybe 2 weeks after I moved there or something. That's it.
And like right away, you guys started a band and it was super successful.
Yeah, super easy. The show he was talking about, I remember that show because it was, I think it was the first stop. I'm not sure if Funeral had come out yet, our first record had come out yet, but that was one of the last shows, because we used to always, from stage, we didn't have any money to like get hotel rooms, so we would always ask if anyone had a place for us to crash from stage. And that was the last time we did that because it was so horrible. We stayed in someone's dorm room, like 8 of us sleeping in someone's dorm. And it was like, you know what? We're going to start. There were 500 people waiting in the show. We're going to start buying one hotel room to share. So yeah, we definitely put in a lot of years in the wilderness.
And how long? Like, from you getting there, you had a band, you guys met. Like, how long was that till you guys were like, wow, we actually can afford hotel rooms? And
The first tour we had one cell phone for the whole band, and we had this one van, and the album came out, and then this phone started ringing off the hook all the time. Do, 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 do. Like everybody, the whole band, like
We
if
had
you
no
sing,
management.
and we had no management, so it was like, oh, who wants to pick this? Richie,
Like,
you
oh,
do
it's
this.
the New York Times. Cool. Hey, how's it
Take this
going?
on.
Yeah, but even before that, I mean, our first record, we met an engineer named Howard Billerman who owned a studio, and an amazing, like, proper analog studio in Montreal, and he basically allowed us to pay for the studio time but defer paying him, so it kind of made it half as expensive, and we would play shows, get a little bit of money together, go record, play shows, get a little money together, go record, and so it was sort of like, in a way, we were really honing our music because we were gigging the whole time, and we were playing in Toronto, we were playing in Guelph and Brantford and all these little.
it's a great town. That's where I grew up, actually.
Brantford, Ontario, baby.
Really?
Yeah, home of Wayne Gretzky.
That's
Says a lot.
one of my most
Is that the Ford
memorable
plant?
shows.
Is that in Brantford?
Brantford.
Massey
was the-
Ferguson was in Brantford, not Ford.
Brantford was when they were maybe as
Is there
many
a
people.
Brampton too?
Yes.
There's different places?
Yeah.
Which
So
one?
you never played in Brantford, is what you're saying?
No, we played in both.
Okay, all right.
But one of them is like a burned out shell of a town where there was no.
That's Brantford. That's where I grew up, right? Thank you so much.
No,
I did leave, okay?
Brantford was empty. There was not, like the downtown, there was not one business. Everything was empty. And these punk kids were like, how much does it cost to rent a place? Like $50 a month? Cool, we'll rent a place. And they started a venue called the Ford Plant. And it was like a punk rock venue. And so we played there with Wolf Parade. And there were more of us than kids in the audience on stage. And we were still like, fuck it, we're still gonna go. We're gonna sing as if we're playing the biggest show of our lives. And
I
these
remember
kids
we
were just
were
like,
playing so loud, but it was kind of awkward because people were so close and they were just.
no, it didn't matter to us if there were 3 people or 1,000 people, or like for us, music was war. It's like, you're not gonna have a conversation at the bar while we're playing. You're gonna listen to our band. You know, it's like we really had this almost like this mentality of, and it didn't really matter how small it was. I remember we were opening on that tour, first of 3, and we played, this was actually just before this, but we were playing in Washington, D.C. at like a little punk club, and we were the first of 3, and there were 200 people at the show, and we sold 190 copies of our EP to 200 people. They weren't there to see us.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe this shit is working. But that was really before, but it was like, you know what? I think that maybe we're good.
And we were making them in the back of the van, like put them in together, fold the thing, put it in, put the plastic, fold the thing, put it in, put the plastic.
Yeah. And so around that time, I mean, that's sort of, at the very end of that first tour, we had no management. We were completely doing it ourselves, and we opened like a Bank of America account in my parents' hometown before we left for tour. But we were touring in the middle of the U.S. and there were nowhere to deposit money, so we had a paper bag with like $40,000 in cash.
No, it was not a paper bag. It was a cosmetic bag.
Cosmetic, but like
because I was just like, it's just gonna look like girl stuff. Nobody's gonna look at
But
that.
we'd keep it by the drum kit, and then at the end of the tour, we like divided it out on the bed and gave everyone their equal shares, and that was the tour, you know? So we did it. But as soon as we had done that, and it might have even been on the same tour, we were playing a hometown show in Montreal, and we were like, we have $40,000, we're basically good for life now. So we should donate the money from this hometown show to Haiti, where Regine's family is from. This was years ago, and so 12 years ago. So it ended up being like around $20,000 for this show, and then we just mailed a check to Partners in Health in Boston, who's an amazing healthcare organization.
Really good sound.
Yeah, it is a nice sound. Hello, check. Yeah, so that kind of got us started.
So Paul Farmer, Partners in Health. You
Yeah.
guys have met Paul a few times.
He came to our show in Boston, and we went to Haiti with him.
That was his first show, his first rock show,
Yeah.
and he was very excited about it. And we went to Haiti for the first time with him, and we traveled all across Haiti. Our car broke down. We were stuck at night in the middle of Artibonite. We had to cross the river, pay some guy a few bucks to cross the river on some kind of plank, or I couldn't see because it was so dark. It was just the moonlight. Like, I guess this is a boat. Like, let's just get in and get to the other side of the river. And but anyway, we met Paul Farmer, and then this relationship grew.
And I think we related to each other because in the same way that we'd kind of come from nothing and sort of built something. He went to Haiti when he was 21, 22, college student, and ended up basically creating a public health infrastructure in Haiti, and then basically all over the world they're running the healthcare system in Rwanda. When Ebola hit Africa, the doctors that were trained in Haiti are on the front lines of the Ebola crisis. In Africa, Haitian doctors that were trained in Haiti fighting Ebola, really for the good of all humanity. You know, so sometimes you think that you can have a mentality that you're giving money
Why
to these
there and
poor
not
people,
here,
but in
and why this place
actuality,
more than this place?
it's like it's all in service.
It comes back.
In service of-
And because of Paul Farmer, you started Compe. So
Yes.
tell us, like, I know I heard this yesterday, but tell everybody else
Okay.
the story about Compe and how that came about.
So, okay, so I really got into.
My dad's
what-
FaceTiming me. Hey Dad, how's it
No,
going?
not now.
Hey Dad, we're like in a little.
On
I'll call you
stage.
later, okay? We're talking about partners in health.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, right? All right, love you. Say bye, guys.
It's hilarious.
I'm gonna put my phone on airplane mode.
So, Compe.
Okay, so I was talking with Paul Farmer during that time, and he was telling me how hard it is to see people that are on the brink of death, and how they fight and they do the program and then take their medication, and they really like get back to health after many months and sometimes years, and then the moment where, as a doctor, he has to send them back, and he says, and then I send them back to what? And then, for me, that was like not an epiphany, because I didn't have a solution, but it really hit me, and especially because I am not in the medical sector at all. So I was thinking, but what can I do? And I spent a whole summer, literally, just sitting and staring at a wall. And I thought about Dominique, because my family's from Haiti. So I thought about a friend who I hadn't seen for 20 years. And
You were basically like, who's my most competent friend that I know?
but I didn't know.
But you knew as a little girl, you're like, that girl's gonna do some good stuff at some point.
Well, we were children. Like I just thought like it just came in my head, and we hadn't seen each other for 20 years, and I just Googled her name just like that, and she's in politics now, but she wasn't before. But it was more like a top 50 business women of leaders of the world of the this and that and powerhouse, and it was really surprising, because it was how we went in completely opposite directions, and I thought this is who I need to call, because if you're gonna have a team, you really want a wide array of skills and thinking. So I got called. My dad told him to call her dad. She called me, and then we reconnected just like that, and we started Compe. And I think what Compe does, Compe means to stand in Haitian Creole, and it's we work in rural areas of Haiti, and we work with families and communities to bring solutions to empower them, to give them autonomy. And we work with local organizations, and we work in health, nutrition, agriculture, leadership, and we bring a bit of infrastructure. And we work like that because over time, I realized that it's never just one thing that solves the issue of poverty. It's not just planting trees is not going to do it. Just putting a well somewhere is not going to solve everything. Or if you think about just your own life, you can't just like 1 year go to school and the next year you have good water, and maybe the year after you have a decent house, but you have no school. You can't get a life together like that. It has to happen at the same time. But you can't do everything at the same time everywhere. But you could do a lot in one place at the same time. So that's how Compe works. We work in small communities, but where we do a lot, and we consult with the community, and it really we make sure that it comes from them, so they are engaged with the whole plan. It's their project. We're just there to bring tools, support, training, and whatever they need, and to make it happen. And over 10 years, I'm really happy because I'm starting to see that it before it was just kind of a vision, so you never know. Maybe we're just out to lunch and this is useless. But no,
I think Compe has established a model that's going to be all over the region in Haiti, and I think it is applicable all over the world of how with very little resources you have a huge impact.
Yes.
And I think that's sort of
because when you work with local organizations, it costs you so much less than if you bring people from the outside. Plus, you don't have to bring anyone; they're already there, and they're already specialists because they live there 24/7. So you've got the workforce is there, and the effort is just like you just need the little spark to kick at it and get it organized. But people want to do it. People want to do the work. People want to organize our town. People really they're ready. It's just, and so when you just bring the right puzzle piece, then everything falls into place much with less effort.
And I think what's amazing what you guys do, and we talked a little bit about this before one of our conversations, is, Brendan and I were like, a couple years ago, we're gonna go build a school in Kenya. And so we fly to Kenya and we start to, dig up stuff and make cement to put the blocks in place. And we look over and there's 50 people from the town watching a bunch of people from Canada and the US build them a school, and I was like, it's so wrong. Like, we should have paid the people there, give them an opportunity, give them a job to do that. And one of the things that you guys, I think, is amazing is that everybody in Haiti for Compe is from Haiti.
Yeah.
Right? You're empowering the people in Haiti to do good in Haiti.
Yeah.
Which is, and you guys started that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a life project. I think people get really caught up in disaster ideas of, oh, there's a flood here, there's a fire here, there's an earthquake here, and you're kind of running around. And after a while, you start to realize that the commonality of when there's these disasters is usually a bigger disaster in a place that doesn't have any infrastructure. So the earthquake in Haiti killed 300,000 people. There was the same magnitude earthquake in California 2 months ago, and 0 people died. So
Can you say that again, for everybody? Let that sit in for a second, 'cause that's crazy.
Yeah, so the earthquake that just happened in California, actually, Regine's father lives, there were 0 fatalities. I think it was a 7.1 or something like that.
I don't remember the exact number.
Something like that, and the earthquake in Haiti was 7.0, and 300,000 people died. So it's more about just inequity, at the end of the day.
Well, it's amazing. And one of the things that I think that's really interesting that you guys did is, as you started to get fame, you guys added this $1 per ticket to it. In the 2005-06 timeframe, you guys did that with Partners in Health for a few years, then started to do it with Compe.
As well, yeah.
But then you guys made it into it's amazing you guys did that, but then you made it into a movement now. There's something called +1 now that's out there. Yeah. There's a lot of artists that are doing this, and I remember when we were talking about it, it's something simple to do, but the impact has been amazing. Do you want to talk a little bit about +1 and the $1 and how you did it, and all of a sudden now you have this movement behind it?
I think it's for us, it's easy to get caught up in this thing of just doing fundraisers all the time and galas, and it kind of never ends. For us, it was how do we just build into our business in a very simple way? How do we build something into our business where we're doing sustained work in the right direction towards doing good work in Haiti? And for us, the $1 ticket is directly from our fans. It's we're not even the middleman in it. It's just straight from the fans to the promoters, and then that goes directly to the charities. So it's in a way, it's not only just been a very kind of the easiest thing we really ever did. It's also, I think it's been great for our audience and our fans and given them a deeper connection to the band and just the sense of community of actually, just by going to a show, you're kind of doing, you're participating in kind of in something bigger than that night or that music, and I think that that was a side effect that I don't think we saw in advance that I think is really, we've seen the fruit of it. You know?
I think it's so that part, I mean, that's not all we do, but I would say that's the easiest thing that we do is the +1 thing, and it started when we were doing it pre-iPhone, pre-iPad. We had buckets and volunteers and T-shirts and kiosks, but and Marika, who used to play viola in the band, she the following tours she decided to just she didn't, it wasn't for her, the tour, so she took the +1 and just made it into an organization, and she has like hundreds of bands now that are doing the same thing. And I'm so happy because really anyone should do that. It's so easy.
But most people don't, and you guys did.
It's so
You
easy.
know?
Yeah, I mean, I think if like a hockey team gave $1 per ticket, the impact would be enormous. Or you know, the owners of a stadium, or
Because you see your ticket tab already. There's already all these extra fees
You're
that
paying Ticketmaster
nobody
for
bats an
nothing.
eyelash, and it's like $5, $10 more sometimes, and then you just like, and one more, you know, for
So the
good
challenge to the audience, anybody who runs a business, how do you incorporate that? I mean, I think that
yeah, I mean,
it's amazing.
we would love to find partners to do, you know, because we're just working on what we know, which is our own business and our own in our own field. But it's exciting to think about partnering through this work in Haiti, finding partners that are more on the business side that might bring your own energy or your own thoughts or a different way of thinking about it, because all we know is what we know. Like you can't know something you don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anyone who wants to talk to us after, if anyone kind of has any thoughts.
And Isabelle and Lindsay over here from Campe are there also.
Amazing. Yeah, we had Isabel yesterday on stage talking a little bit about, you know, the impact. And one of the things that really hit me home with Isabel's conversation is that you guys built a clinic in Haiti. It's less than $200,000 US a year to run it, for all the doctors, all the nurses, all the care in there, and it sees 10,000 people in that clinic. And just like put that in perspective to cost here is like, you can do so much. Money can go so
You can
far.
do so
Yeah.
much.
You know, which is amazing. Yeah.
With Zami La Santé, our partners in health, yeah.
Now, what about, talk a little bit about when you go to Haiti, and I know for me, if I'm here and I have a bunch of people that work in my organizations, I know that tomorrow if somebody had to leave the organization, you know, they got unemployment, they're, you know, safe, they're gonna find another job, you know, and I go to Haiti, it's like my fuel to be like, for me, our team will never fail in Haiti because I'll never let that happen. Like, I'll never let my company fail because of Haiti. And it's been like this fuel to me. Like, I go there often and I see the people, and I know that if something happens at 360 and they don't have a job tomorrow, they probably don't have food tomorrow. They probably don't have a house tomorrow.
Right.
You know, and it's like this crazy drive that, you know, makes you push forward. And I would say that it's a big part of the success of 360 is that we've kind of ingrained this into the culture within an organization, that there's so many people that care about what we do. And if we're not successful as an organization, then we won't be able to do those things. It's like a driver. Do you guys feel that? Like, you guys have been to Haiti a bunch of times. Do you feel like it's pushed you guys over the years to do more? I mean, creating +1 was a huge thing, but you get that drive there?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
Well, because we began Campe before the earthquake, and then the earthquake happened right when we were kind of finalizing the papers and getting officially recognized as a foundation and everything, and then the earthquake happened, and Dominique lost both her parents, and we were in the middle of recording The Suburbs. We were supposed to go to Haiti the weekend after. We
We're
almost had
supposed to film that.
tickets, yeah, to go.
With Jonathan Demme.
Yeah, with Jonathan Demme. And so, what do you do in times like that? So I think we just like went like triple.
Yeah, we were in the studio and we weren't planning on playing shows that summer, and we called our manager and said, find us,
book us anything.
book us, get us paid the most we can possibly
biggest
get paid.
gig, even if we're not ready, we're
So
just
we
gonna.
did Osheaga Festival, we did a festival in Ireland, we did all these festivals that we would have never done, and
And we
gave
rushed everything.
gave all the it ended up being like $1 million
Yeah.
that we gave to basically to start Campé, and we were working for that purpose.
Yeah, we were
And-
like finishing it just to be able to.
And it must bring together, like, the band's much larger than two. It must bring everybody together to know that what you guys are doing is unbelievable.
I mean, it's kind of been deeper than that, because it's not a one-way street. It's not like we're giving things to the poor people of Haiti. It's like we're in relationship. Like, it's Regine's blood, it's her family, but me as like an outsider, we own a Haitian restaurant. I get so much. I've learned so much about life and from spending time in Haiti. Like, I've definitely received so much more than I've given personally, just in terms of my understanding of the world. Like, I remember one of the first trips in Haiti, because you're hanging out with Dr. Paul Farmer, who's like this, genius, like saint-like, walking, 6 hours to go treat one patient and like solving these intractable, incurable diseases, and you're like, you feel like kind of a bit of a waste of space in that context. You're like, I play a guitar. Cool. Like, music is powerful too. You're like, sure it is. But but we were in this this hospital, and one thing I noticed in Haiti is like we met a lot of patients with HIV in Haiti. The region in which there were NGOs there, they were doing a bad job. They were just giving people medication and not following up. They're like, here's your AIDS medication, good luck. And they were the sickest people I've ever met on planet Earth. It was like the people that had a little bit of help, but the help wasn't administered properly. And the people were so sick, and we're like kind of walking through this clinic, and because they developed resistance to the drugs, and so it's like really, really difficult. It's just like a daily fight for survival. And we played a couple songs in this ward, and we're leaving, and this man grabs Regine's arm, and he spoke a little bit of English.
He's on his bed.
He's basically on his deathbed, and he spoke a little bit of English, and Regine had a little keyboard, and he said, I'm an artist. Could you play Let It Be for me? And so Regine played him Let It Be on this little Casio. And in that moment, you feel like, okay, maybe this music thing has some intrinsic value as well. So, from that side of the lens, it gives you more of a perspective on your own, what you're doing on this planet in the first place. So, and that shit doesn't happen backstage at a venue or something like that. It happens out in the world. So I feel really blessed and grateful to the wealth and the richness of experience that I've had in Haiti. It's just really been fuel for my life, really.
And that music is like... The music is pretty remarkable, and I want to talk about the band in a second here, but you guys haven't seen this yet, so I have information you don't have that Isabel showed me right before we walked in here, but the team in Haiti did the pro walk for climate change today.
Yeah.
And the thing that came to me when I looked at it was how proud everybody was in that band that was walking through there, And so I think music is like a big part of that as well. And like, so, and you getting the band in Haiti is a pretty remarkable story to me. Like, you just took initiative. You want to tell everybody like how that came about and, you know?
Okay, so Campe, we work in rural Haiti where there's really not resources, no electricity, no water. So we work in education, health, agriculture, leadership, infrastructure. There's not even a real proper road to get where we work.
You work with women who can't write their own name, who have never handled money.
Money, yeah.
Like, you're talking the bottom of the rung. There's no rung to
There's
grab.
no, yeah, there's no. So, but when we began our work in our relationship with that community, we came with the band and we played and we had a lot of instruments and when I would go back, the kids would, not just the kids, everybody was just like, oh, we want some music. Can we have some music? And they would give me, they wanted instruments. And I was like, okay. I don't know where to put them. Also, it doesn't fit in the program, so we can't really give Campe funds for that. And so, because I was, we're really serious about our program. And one day I was in Montreal and I just woke up and like a sleepwalker, I think you were still asleep, like I just went out, I went to the music store and then I saw the guy at the counter, I was like, hey, how many trumpets do you have? I don't know, like, okay, well, can you go see how many trumpets and then 3 altos, 3 tenors, 2 trombones, do you have a euphonium? And I just made like a ensemble to give. That's what they need. They need this, they need that, and then they need and then the bass, another trombone, and then I just bought it. I just gave my credit card and I just and I didn't even tell you, and I didn't even tell it, and I just did it, and it just happened that Fritz, our program coordinator, was in Montreal, and I said, Fritz, I got the instruments, but it's a lot. Like, I don't know how you're gonna carry all this stuff because there's so many so many things. And he says, don't worry, I got it. And it made me so happy because I don't know if it's like a Haitian thing or maybe it's just Caribbean thing, I don't know, but if I know that with packages and stuff, it has to come through a mountain, it has to come through a motorcycle, it's gonna get there. I just know, it's just this thing, I don't know, it's this habit that I have, maybe it's from a Haitian family, it's pack the car, it's gonna fit. It's not gonna fit, it is gonna fit. There's a way, there will be a way. And the instruments. It always fits. And the instruments made it, and he sent me a photo, and he said, okay, Reggie, great, you can put this photo on Facebook. And the children were holding the clarinet like this, and the flute like that, and I was like, no, you have to get a teacher immediately. And he found a really great young man, Maestro Jean, he's the town maestro now, Jean-Germain Duvelsin, who studied with Jesuits in a bigger town nearby, and he came and taught everybody the solfège. And I went back about 6 months later. And literally, we went from this kind of clarinet to full-on high school band, finishing year high school band, from 0 to totally acceptable level. Any high school band would be like, yes, this is a great Christmas high school band show. In about 6 months. And then this thing took a life of its own, and to me it really taught me about which I already felt, but it just reinforced me in me the sense that you really, if you're trying to help somebody, you have to listen to what they're saying. And even if it's not part of your idea of what you're thinking, like, well, this is not what we do, listen to what they're saying, because something's going to come out of that. Because when it comes out of the person who wants it, it's going to get bigger and it's going to grow. And now this fanfare has about 75, 80 kids in it. They play for weddings. They're literally the pride of the community. Everybody wants their kid in the fanfare. And they have their little costume.
And we just saw a video of today. They were joining in the strike for the climate change initiative, and it's these same kids in the marching band in rural Haiti, and they all have like branches.
And they're planting some
And
saplings.
They're planting the saplings. And talk about like ground zero of reforestation, of how you fight climate change. Like Haiti is like the most fertile place on planet Earth that could be reforested. I mean, it's like it's so obvious, it's almost stupid. But yeah, so it's pretty incredible to see. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, you guys, I want to give them a big round of applause. These guys are amazing, what they've done. You guys are okay for a couple questions? Open it up.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
live Q&A here
Yeah.
for you guys. We can't see anybody up here. But does anybody have any questions?
Thank you. I've honestly never heard of the One Plus initiative before tonight, but I run an eye care company, and it makes me think, this is an opportunity to be able to donate money towards eye care. I didn't get my eyes checked until I was 16, and I was like, oh my God, this is a game changer. I'd love to get involved. I'm not sure how, but some way.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, not a question, but I'd love to follow up.
No, yeah, we can talk.
This is Isabel, raising her hand already, as you can see. Yeah.
Any questions?
Other questions, anyone else? Can't see anything.
Yeah, we can't see anything.
That's good.
No questions.
Must have spoken plenty.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to Whitby. I know it was an amazing experience on the ride out here, but you guys are amazing in what you guys do. The Plus One has been a huge movement, and I've been to Haiti a ton, and I know how important your impact is. So, I think they're going to be around for a little bit if you guys want to talk to them at all. They're here, but thank you guys so much for being here today.
I just want to say really quickly as well, I want to thank Hervé and Pierre. Thank you for coming. And these are our friends from Montreal and from Congo, and you don't have any reason to support anything in Haiti. Obviously, there's a lot of need in Congo, and it really is really deeply meaningful that you guys have been so supportive of this work, and we're really in this shit together, so it means a lot. So thank you for
So with all the thanking going on, I don't even know if I need to be up here, but essentially, I'm just here. I just wanted to thank Jason, Regine, and Wynn. Your stories were incredible today, and we thank you for being here, but more importantly, we thank you for inspiring all of us. I mean, there's proof right there that there's a lot of inspiration here today. You guys have really taken the influence that you guys have, and you guys have helped, thousands and thousands of Haitian families. You've made a monumental difference in their lives. So for that, I think everyone here, and hopefully the whole world, should be thanking you guys. So one more round of applause here. So good evening, everyone. I mean, I don't really want to talk too much here and take away from what happened, for the last 45 minutes. This was absolutely incredible. My name's Alim Bayani. I'm a partner at BDO Canada, and I have a few notes here. I'm a little bit caught off guard because this is amazing. I feel bad talking about business and all of this, but this is a little bit amazing. So essentially, I work alongside scaling companies, scaling technology companies in the GTA, and we believe that accelerating companies in the TLS space is extremely important, and that's why us at BDO, we're a very proud sponsor of 1855, we're not only one of the founding partners, we're actually the facility naming partner of 1855 BDO Accelerator right next door that Jason spoke about. Jason, everything you've done for 1855 and for the Durham region has just been incredible, and we thank you for that. And you know, as the mayor said earlier, none of this would have happened without you and just the passion you have here. So what we're trying to accomplish at 1855 is to help grow these companies to a point where, you know, they're sitting up here and they're the ones giving back to the community and that, you know, giving back to society at large. So hopefully that's something we can help do with the cohort that's there right now and the cohorts that will be coming in the future. Okay, so there's just a couple housekeeping things. I'm the last person here standing in between some delicious food outside. So again, thank you guys all for attending the inaugural 1855 Masterclass session put on by the Durham Region Economic Development. And tonight's discussion is going to be available on YouTube. So look out for an email from Stephanie. It should be coming out to all attendees on Monday. And hopefully by the end of next week, you guys will be able to share this with your contacts because it was just truly remarkable what we saw up here today. Please also mark your calendars. October 23rd, there's some information on a bulletin outside. That's going to be the next session of 1855's Masterclass session. And let's continue the conversation outside. We have some local food and drink provided by our friends at Brock Street Brewing and Stuttering John's Smokehouse. So thanks again for coming and have a great night.